captaincy, and then we'll open it up and then we'll do a written round table separately afterwards. About 10 minutes. Cameras rolling in the back, all good? Excellent. Ben, you ready? James, over to you.
Hi Ben, I just wonder how you're feeling after this week of the start of a new era, your first week as Test captain. How do you feel it's gone?
Yeah, it's gone really well. Obviously it's great to get everyone together, and obviously the first time we've officially met Baz rather than being on a Zoom call. So yeah, it's been good getting everyone together. Everyone's obviously really excited. And what a great place to start at home cricket at Lords, so everyone's in good fettle here.
Has it felt different?
No, not particularly, really. It's, I guess, as it is with the start of every sort of test match summer, there's always that buzz and energy around. Because we've had Johnny, for example, being off at the IPL, we've had lads playing county cricket, so everyone's just really, really excited to get going, and you can sense that. So yeah, looking forward to this week's night.
And what have you made of Brendan McCullum? He's only been here a few days. What's been the first impression from your point of view?
Yeah, he's pretty much done everything like he sort of explained the way that he coaches. He hasn't thrown one ball yet, so he's lived up to that. But no, he's been good. He's all about making everyone feel as in his words, feel 10 feet tall. And I think it's pretty obvious the way that he will speak in the dressing room because of the way that he played cricket and what he did for New Zealand cricket when he was in charge of them. So yeah, it's been a good few days working with him. So just hopefully see how this week goes.
And what have been your key messages to the team this week? What do you want to see different under your captaincy and what's happened before?
I didn't really go into too much detail, to be honest. I just want everyone to feel free under my captaincy, and obviously there's been talk around the word reset, which is something that I don't particularly like. I just see this as a complete and utter blank canvas for this test team going forward. We've got so much experience in that dressing room, myself, Joe, Brody, Johnny, Jimmy, but then we've also got the other end where we've got younger lads with inexperience, but this is our time, and we are going to dictate how things go forward. There's nothing on this blank canvas, as I've said yet. Everyone's starting fresh now, whether you're Matty Potts or whether you're James Anderson and Stuart, it's just all completely underneath that.
New era, a new cap, Matt Potts. What attributes does he bring? You know him well.
Yeah, I've obviously he's a Durham lad, so there's no bias there, by the way. But I spent 3 games playing with Pottsy this summer back in Durham. Obviously got to know him over the years at Durham and watching him progress, and he's been outstanding in the games that I've played, and even before that for Durham. He's been the guy that our Scotty Borthwick's turned to take the wicket. And I think one thing that's been really good this year about county cricket is that it's not been all plain sailing and for the bowlers like it has been over the last few years. You've really had to work for your wickets, and he's managed to create things out of nowhere. And I think the one thing that really made my mind up about Pottsy getting this opportunity in the squad initially was when he bowled the victory against Glenmorgan. He turned up with on day 4 with a bit of a stiff side, and someone being in this situation with test selection coming around the corner, bowling as well as he did, he could have just sat back and said, no, I'm just going to look after myself here, but he didn't. He ran in and won the game for Durham. So that's the attitude that I guess sort of sets the next level and really makes you open your eyes to this kid's ready. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He's an athlete, and he's everything what I expect this team to be about going forward.
Ben, I know you've done so much in your career already, but walking out as England's Test captain at Lords, I wonder whether you feel that will be your proudest moment, or whether in fact it actually in some ways makes you feel a bit nervous as well.
No, I'm actually not nervous, to be honest. It's just a new responsibility also to go out there trying to do the same thing that I've done in my 80 games that I've played already, which is to try and win games. For England, I've just got a bit more to think about now. But I'm excited. I don't see this as any hinder on what I bring to the team, as a few people have escalated that might. But I'm just very, very excited to get going, and just no nerves, just more excited excitement or, obviously it's going to be a very proud moment, but it is what it is.
And through those games, Ben, you'll know that you've been supported really well through thick and thin as a team and around the world. I think it's understandable there's a kind of a thought about things like ticket prices and other things that people have on their agenda at the moment in the country. As a group of players, to those fans in particular, do you feel you have something to prove, I suppose?
Look, one thing that we've always received over the years as the England cricket team is amazing support. Obviously the Barmy Army are world renowned, but even people who don't associate themselves with it who support us are just fantastic. The ticket prices are something that I think is going to have to sort of be looked at properly, because what is cricket without its fans? What is sport without fans, really, to be honest? And we want to be attracting people to come and watch us because of the cricket that we play and how successful we are. But I guess you've got to look at how much it's going to cost someone to get into the ground at the end of the day. But I don't set the prices, but I think it does need to be looked at.
Fine. Good final one from me. New Zealand as opponents, here they are as World Test champions. Where do they stand in your mind in terms of opponents, compared to other challenges that you have in world cricket?
Yeah, the fact that they're World Test champions proves how good a team they are. We've always had very good series against New Zealand. It's never really one-sided. It's always sort of just whoever takes control of the game at a certain most crucial point seems to be coming out on top. It's not like one team's dominated every Test match. But they're a great team to play against. They're probably the most likeable team in around the world. But then Kane Williamson obviously taking the reins after Baz left. So really enjoyed playing against New Zealand. I know there's no thoughts of me being there from growing up for 12 years, which I'm sure someone's going to ask about that. How does that feel? This is England v New Zealand, I'm English.
Okay, we'll take a few more. Go Julian and then Jonathan.
Ben, sorry, you talked about Matty Potts making a great start to the season. Harry Brooks also had a phenomenal start to the season. How difficult was it decisions to leave him out given his sport?
Yeah, look, the fact that we've got Harry Brook and Matty Potts in the squad initially was credit to the way that they performed this year, and the fact that Brookie's not in the team this week is I guess great, because we've got Johnny, who's going to be back in 5, but Blake's got 200s in his last 4 or 5 games, and he's a very important part of the squad going forward. But all Brookie can do is just keep banging that door down, and that's certainly what he's been doing, whether it be with red ball or white ball this year. But it's a great place to be in when you've got something like Harry not in the team. You'd rather have it that way than sort of who's going to come in next. But yeah, it's exciting to see the likes of Potsy and Brookie, who are such young lads, really showing what they're about this year. And obviously Brookie's in the squad, he's got that opportunity. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be long before he's in a good shirt, because he's a very fine player.
Thank you.
Ben, what do you put the success down to in terms of Durham producing consistently players for England? Yourself, of course, Matt Potts is going to make his debut tomorrow. Mark Wood will be playing if he wasn't injured. Steve Harmison as well. Is it something they put in the water up there, or is it more to do with the link between cricket and the community that maybe is stronger in that region than anywhere else? What do you think?
It's just northern, mate.
A couple of years ago you captained England, and you said that Joe Root sent me a little message, said just to be yourself. Have you spoken to Joe in the build up to this series? Has he had a little word about the captaincy and where he sees he fits in the team?
To be honest, when I rang him to say that I'm taking the role, he's as you can imagine, he's one of the nicest blokes around, and he said he's always going to be there to offer support and stuff like that, but he's also said that he doesn't want to feel like he's getting in the way or sort of not overstepping the mark, but just sort of letting me be me. And I said the same thing to him. I just said, look mate, just concentrate on your batting now. You don't have all this extra responsibility on your shoulders. Just don't feel like you have to come to me. You just do you concentrate on getting your runs, and I'll come to you when I need some advice. But yeah, it's great to have, obviously I backed Joe that whole 5-6 years he did it, and I know fine well that I've got the backing of him, even though he's decided to step away from the captaincy role. So yeah, that's nice.
Any more? Done? Cool, that's great. Thank you. We're going to do
Cheers,
everything. Nearly.
Cheers.
Thanks.
No. This will be a 6 p.m.
Yeah, the Jubilee Pop on site.